I'm Kira Jones, and my goal is to make watching new sports less intimidating. Since the PGA Tour's Century Tournament of Champions kicks off this week, let's start with golf. As someone who didn't grow up playing or watching golf, I get that it can be confusing. After a few years working in and around the sport, now golf tournaments are actually one of my favorite sporting events to attend live. I'll do a future video on tips for watching golf in person, but for this one, let's just focus on the basics. One thing that makes golf a little bit tricky is that the format, number of players competing, and even how the players qualify to participate aren't the same for all tournaments. For example, the field for the Tournament of Champions is super small, just 40 golfers, because players had to win a PGA Tour event or Olympic gold medal last year to qualify. In most of the regular events on tour, the field is either 132, 144, or 156 players. In this video, I'll talk about the typical PGA Tour event. Generally, tournaments take place Thursday to Sunday, with 18 holes played each day. All participants play Thursday and Friday, with only those who make the cut or have a low enough score to advance playing over the weekend. Typically, players are paired with two other golfers to form a threesome who they play with for the first 2 days. Sometimes players will start at both the first and 10th holes, so just because someone finishes the 18th hole doesn't mean their round is over. It could just be halfway done. After the first 2 rounds, players are grouped based on score. The better your score, the later you tee off. So the 2 players with the lowest scores are paired together and tee off last or latest in the day. The most common tournament format by far is individual stroke play. Basically, the player with the lowest overall score wins. Let's look at a leaderboard so you can get a feel for what information it contains and what the different numbers mean. At the top, we have the tournament name and location and final RD, letting us know it's the final round. On the far left is the tournament ranking. You'll notice in this example, the numbers jump from 6 to 8. That's because Dustin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau were tied for 6th. In the next column, we see the player's country's abbreviation and flag, followed by their name. The third column, labeled total, is how far under par they are for the tournament so far. As mentioned with stroke play, the player with the lowest overall score, or the one who's the most under par, wins. The way we'd read this is Xander Schauffele is currently leading at 21 under par. He has a 1-shot lead over Gary Woodland, who sits at 20 under par. The 73 at the top of the next column tells us what par for the course is, so 73. The numbers in that column tell us how many holes that golfer has played in today's round. And the last column tells us their score today. So in this example, Xander is 9 under through 15 holes. The numbers in yellow indicate a final score for the round. So Webb Simpson shot a 65. Par for the course is 73, minus his score of 65 gives us 8, which means he was 8 under today, which you can also see in the last column. To get the par for the course, we combine the par of each of the 18 individual holes. Par just means the number of strokes an expert player should normally require to finish that hole. Most holes have a par between 3 and 5. Generally speaking, par 3s are the shortest holes and par 5s are the longest. If you score a 1 under par on a hole, it's called a birdie. 2 under par is an eagle, and 3 under par, which is super rare, is called a double eagle or an albatross. If you score 1 over par, it's called a bogey. 2 over par is a double bogey, and 3 over par is a triple bogey. So birds are good, bogeys are bad. If you get the ball in the hole in one stroke, it's called a hole-in-one, which I'm sure you've heard, or an ace. Okay, those are the basics. What do you want to see a video on next? Let me know in the comments below and be sure to give me a follow.